Hello there, greetings to you and many thanks for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a great start to your week, and now welcome to our edition. These are the headlines. President Paul Kagame on Monday received Malik Agar, the Vice President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of Sudan, and his delegation. Lawmakers from the Great Lakes region have condemned the ethnically motivated violence and discrimination in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And to international matters, opposition parties in Senegal are refusing to take part in the discussions aimed at establishing a new date for the presidential elections. Good evening to you once again, and many thanks for your company. And as we started off tonight, let us inform you that on Monday, President Paul Kagame received Malik Agar, the Vice President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of Sudan, and his delegation at Urugwiro village. The President's office said on Twitter or X, stating that the visiting delegation delivered a message from Abdel Fattah al-Burhan Abdel Rahman, President of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan. President Paul Kagame on January 5th received Mohamed Hamdan Daglo, the commander of the Sudan's Parliamentary Rapid Forces, RSF, who is on a regional tour of African countries, his first trip abroad amid regional diplomatic efforts to try to forge a ceasefire in the war in his country. Fierce fighting erupted between the RSF and Sudan's army in mid-April 2023. President Paul Kagame pledged Rwanda's support for the ongoing peace and dialogue efforts to end the war between SAF and RSF, and reiterated the need for a political solution to the end of the suffering of the people of Sudan. In November 2023, over 200 Sudanese students displaced by the upheaval stemming from the crisis in their country commenced their medical studies at the University of Rwanda. Moving ahead, the parliamentary fact-finding mission of the Forum of Parliaments of the International Conference of the Great Lakes region, ICGLR, on security, humanitarian and political challenges in Eastern DRC urged international community to examine the root causes of the security issues in the eastern part of that country. We do have the story with Adam Squizera.
For the past 30 years, the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo has been marked by insecurity, with attacks targeting Rwandophones, particularly those from Tutsi tribe. These attacks are often carried out by the Congolese Armed Forces FRDC in collaboration with the genocidal militia FDLR. Jemono Nukumba, the sitting president of the Forum of Parliaments of the member states of the International Conference of the Great Lakes region, finds that the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo is deliberately ignoring the root cause of the security problems in the eastern part of the country, as she also notes the failure of the international community in addressing this issue.
The international community and the region has not looked critically into the root causes of the problem. And that's why we should start if you want to really to restore peace and stability in DRC. We need to look into the root causes, especially the situation of harassment and kind of violence against the communities in Eastern Congo that need to be addressed. The identity of these people need to be recognized because they are Congolese. We cannot undo what was done by the colonial powers to divide the countries.
The president of the Senate of Rwanda, Dr. Kaninda Afonso Xavier, expressed a concern during discussions with this fact-finding mission group from the SGR about the open collaboration between the government of Kinshasa and the terrorist group of the FDLR. This collaboration is seen as one of the major contributors to the security crisis in the Great Lakes region. We told them about 250 rebel groups operating in DRC, including Congolese-based rebel groups and other rebel groups that came from DRC's neighboring countries. In addition to what we reiterated in the discussions, is that we've also criticized the way DRC is keeping sheltering and collaborating with the genocidal militia FDLR in the fightings against M23 rebel group, and that's why we request this fact-finding mission to dig deep on those issues. Jemu Kumba, the sitting president of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference of the Great Lakes region, also affirmed that this is one of the issues that should be carefully considered by the group and the solution should be sought.
So we have taken note of the concern and also the hosting of the terrorists that are there, based there, who are also causing problems to Rwanda. This needs to be addressed.
The parliamentary fact-finding mission of the Forum of Parliaments of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region, ICGRL, was represented by various member countries, including Rwanda, Kenya, South Sudan, Angola and Zambia. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams. For strengthening the asylum system in Rwanda, the country seeks to establish a new appeal body. This includes in the bill of law ratifying the final amendment of the UK-Rwanda Immigration and Economic Partnership Agreement being revised by the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security in the lower chamber of the Rwandan Parliament. Prince Manzi brings us the report.
And will include judges from various and protection. The Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Clementine Mucheka, reiterates that the appeal body aims at supporting individuals that might seek asylum even after the implementation of this agreement with the UK.
We want to do this comprehensively to improve the system generally in Rwanda and not specifically to the UK deal.
The Deputy Chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security in the lower chamber of the Rwanda Parliament, Alice Muzana, demonstrates that what is being done affirms hope that the treaty will be implemented.
There is 100% hope that the signed treaty will be implemented. For us to have understood this is good for us and for the population we represent. Anyone willing more explanations, we can provide them.
The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Republic of Rwanda, Dr. Emmanuel Girashebuja, states that Rwanda abided with what was included in these agreements and the four agreements. There is what was said that our courts cannot disagree with what was approved by this committee, but after the Nyanza court rejected and provided nationality to who the committee denied. So what I want to say is that this Rwanda-UK deal is no different from other treaties and principles protecting asylum seekers. They always do not find negativities in this treaty. The government of Rwanda demonstrates that this agreement has made it think more about the need to improve the methods used to receive refugees and the migrants coming to Rwanda, although until today, no special problems have been seen in the program. Prince Manzi, RTV News.
Thank you, Prince. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Jean Chrysostome Ngabitsinze, has presented to the Director General of the International Trade Organization, WTO, Honorable Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the acceptance to the Fisheries Subsidies Agreement, joining more than 70 countries to ratify the newest agreement to the WTO. The document was presented on Monday during the World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference taking place in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The step indicates Rwanda's efforts to enhance sustainable fishing and tackling illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing subsidies. The WTO Ministerial Conference will seek to address global trade issues, including the continued response to COVID-19, tackle trade restrictions, e-commerce regulations, agriculture and dispute settle matters. Rwanda becomes one of the countries to ratify the WTO 1996 Marrakesh agreements that establish restrictions and regulations in order to ensure that the government subsidies to fishing activities do not harm the aqua life in general. It is designed to end over $22 billion spent in illegal fishing on the African continent. Rwanda aims to harvest 112,000 tons of fish in 2024. Statistics from the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources for the year 2022 showed that fish production increased from 41,664 tons to 43,560. And moving ahead to other matters, young people from the French Africa Foundation indicated that the resilience of Rwanda and how it evolved after the tragedy of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi is very important, a lesson that many people should learn from the country. They reiterated this on Monday during their visit to the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi. Olive Nete takes us through.
It is a group of young people in different professions from all over Africa and France who aspire to contribute to the rejuvenation of the Franco-African partnership to position excellence at the core of Franco-African collaborations. They are in Rwanda to learn from its experience in development and how the country managed to overcome the tragedy of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi.
Nous avons d'abord été très touchés.
At first, we were very touched by what we saw, also because of what we heard about what marked the history of Rwanda. We were also very impressed by the resilience of the Rwandan people, which for us is a source of inspiration for all the young leaders from Africa and France present here. The French ambassador to Rwanda, Antoine Anfray, points out that in order to make the necessary reforms in the relations between Africa and France, it is important and crucial for people to know the past.
Yes, this is France and Africa of tomorrow. But to be able to build the France and Africa of the future, you must also understand the France and Africa of yesterday. Yesterday wasn't old. It was only 30 years ago. We can actually understand today's history in light of what happened in the past. The story never stops. It's a continuous chain, there are casualties, and it's true that to understand the Great Lakes region, I think you need to have fairly solid notions about the genocide against Tutsi in 1994, about its causes, where it initiated, and what made it possible. On the mistakes of the international community, and also of the French in the past. It must be said. And finally, this visit is designed to enlighten the truth, because the objective anyway is that the mistakes of the past are not repeated in the future.
According to the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Jean Damascene Bizimana, visiting the memorial is of a great importance in highlighting the truth about the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi.
Icyo bashimye cyane ahangaha ni ukureba uburyo u Rwanda ruha agaciro icyubahiro abishwe muri jenoside.
What they appreciated here is seeing how Rwanda pays tribute to the victims of the genocide, and also that Rwanda does not sink into sadness. Despite the fact that history has not imprisoned us, although we passed through a dark history which inflicted serious wounds, this is something they appreciated. They will also visit other institutions and discuss with them. Our wish is to have many people like them who can help us to tell the truth, especially since we face the problem of negation and denials from some countries. If they come and learn this history, they understand how the lie is spread. We also explain to them what FDLR is, so that they can understand the problems in Eastern Congo that are based on the bad ideology that was in Rwanda in 1992, 1993 and 1994. It's also important because false information and lies are being spread, and when they visit us, we explain to them the truth about the genocide against Tutsi.
It is expected that in their one-week stay in Rwanda, the 30 young people will visit different institutions in order to further understand Rwanda's current development after 30 years since the genocide against the Tutsi was stopped. Olive Nete, RTV News.
And that's all from us here at RB's Rwanda Television News. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team that made it happen, many thanks for being with us. And up until next time, stay safe and we wish you a great evening and a fruitful week ahead. Goodbye.